Check 1 2, check 1 2, checking the sound. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Remember, we do these live streams Monday through Friday, 11 Eastern Standard Time or 11:30, depending. But we've been doing them at 11. We were a little late. We had a bunch of stuff we had to do this morning. Had to get the cat all fixed up. The cat had fleas, so we had to get that flea bag all fixed up. But welcome, guys. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in these cryptocurrency ecosystems. First, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified. If you've been watching this channel for the past couple weeks, the past couple months, maybe even for the past year, you know we have been bringing you guys the juiciest news. We've been bringing you the juiciest of live streams and the price action. We've been showing you the wins. We've been showing you the losses. We've been showing you the natural progression of a crypto bro live. So we hope you've been enjoying it. But welcome. Make sure you guys do all the housekeeping. Join the Discord, and we will have some fun today. And make sure you always go and check out Bitcoin and also the ticker Bitcoin, which is the most memeable coin in existence. But welcome. Let's get this show started. We're going to talk about some of the bullishness, the bearishness, and we're going to show you some of the macro data that could, and also micro data that could influence the macro of the rest of this bull run. And it's going to be about gold and silver. So we're going to correlate gold and silver's moves with how the uncertainty of the dollar is being in play, the strength of the dollar, world trade, and how gold and silver breaking out to all-time highs right now is signaling the move of a actual sell-off on gold and silver and profits going into what we're calling the digital gold. You know, people call it digital gold. What is it? Well, it's Bitcoin. We're going to see how that can play out. And if all these metrics can line up, then this might be the start of the biggest bull run recovery we've ever seen in any cycle in history, where people were so sidelined that they had to FOMO in and back the truck up to try and buy these prices, because that train might leave faster than we think. But let's get this show on the road. Welcome, welcome. Let's go.
I need help.
All right, so we're getting the show on the road, guys. Thank you so much. We're doing it right. We're getting all the transitions right, all the setups, all the scenes, and we are going to start the week off fresh. Sorry for being a little bit late, but we see you guys are here. You're hitting the like button, so we really appreciate it. And shout out to Emmanuel for providing this dope Trump Sproto thumbnail, because this is amazing. I don't know where he got this picture, but it is such a good representation of kind of how I feel about everything. And that's kind of how I feel about the ticker Bitcoin. It just gives me a good feeling. It just gives me a good feeling. I like holding that coin. Hold on just a second, guys. I hear my assistant needs something. Hold on. Okay, never mind. She's good. So yeah, make sure you guys are in the Discord. We got like 180 people, but it looks like not very many people are super active, so I'd love to see you guys active. Come in the Discord. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I mean, you can share your thoughts. You can share your woes. You can share your trades. You can show your trade setups if you have some trade setups. MFR is actually one of the few that will come in here and show you guys some trade setups, and a lot of the times they tend to play out pretty well. I like his predictions. You can also go into the shill zone if you have a project that you're thinking like, this thing's gonna run, then you can shill it in the shill zone. And if you just have some funny memes, you can post them in the Discord, and we want to make you guys feel very welcome. All right, so let's make sure you guys go to danocrypto.com. You're clicking on all of the stuff. You're clicking on the links. You're checking out beancoin.co. You are considering joining the street team of beancoin.co and of the Beancoin ecosystem. Make sure you guys check out the merch section. We got some really awesome merch if you want to sport all of the stuff that we are involved with. And yeah, so let's check out the bubbles here. So on the daily, right now, in terms of the top 100 tokens, we got Cake. Whoa, Cake up, Pancake Swap up 41%. So this is wild. This is interesting because we've kind of had a delay. If you think about it, there's been other DEX tokens like the Solana DEX tokens and some of the Ethereum lending protocols have been getting the attention, but we haven't really seen Pancake Swap getting back in the limelight because we remember back in DeFi summer 2021 that Cake was, top dog. People were, staking Cake and using the pools and the farms and farming tokens on Binance Smart Chain. And so maybe that might be coming back into play. We might be getting a resurgence of these old narratives from 2021 and those fundamental projects also with the native tokens that are on these chains. Could be something to look at. So yeah, Cake up 41%. That's awesome. Let's see. We have this Binary X is up 11%. Then we got the Curve Finance up 7%, or Curve DAO. Aave 2%. We have Pepe 5%. ADA 2.5%. Let's see. We got IMX. Immutable. I'm still bullish on the crypto gaming narrative. I think once we see that kind of inflow back in the ETFs, we get that sentiment better in the markets, we're going to get another one of these crypto gaming narrative runs. I think it's just one that will always do well in these markets, but it's just cyclical. There's just like times where people are just more bullish on gaming, or they're going into the tech tokens, or they're going into DeFi. But the cool thing about the gaming tokens is that it has a combination of both. Like if it's a good token, a good gaming ecosystem, then it has all of these modalities of having its own ecosystem, its own DAO kind of governance, and also just its own currency, inside of whatever the game is, whether it be, we've talked about medieval empires, and Star Atlas is building this huge ecosystem with these different tokens. I think two of the tokens being the Atlas token, and then there's another one that's part of the ecosystem. But you could go so deep with it, and I think that when we get the nerds full on coming into crypto, and they don't even realize that they're using said ecosystem and token, but then they end up getting onboarded through that mechanism, then that's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a pretty big narrative still, I think. So yeah, gaming ecosystems and infrastructures that are like Immutable could be something that could really pump in the next 6 months, or just towards the end of this bull run. Because usually kind of what happens when we want our altcoin season, we see a pump in ETH and Bitcoin first, and then obviously things are pumping along with it. But then once we get a sell-off of ETH and Bitcoin, then it usually goes into the other speculative assets, and then we kind of have a pre-bounce or a post-bounce for alts. And then we have the capitulation. So it's like we get a pump, things carry with it, then we get a sell-off. Some of the other highly speculative stuff that people were going into because they're like, hey, I want to double up, I want to make more. And then we see another little pump. We saw that in 2021 in November. We had that double top. Bitcoin went up double top, and then in November, the alts were they just flew. They were flying. So we could see that happen again if we see that kind of similar rhyming patterns with the markets. We'll just have to see. We just have to let these things play out. But yeah, let's go to Bitcoin. Let's check the price. Let's see what's going on. So I remember on Friday, before the weekend started, we had this theory. We were like, look, and it stalled out. We were wrong. It didn't play out exactly like we were hoping it to, because we saw this green dot getting printed on the 4 hour, And we thought we were going to have a move similar to what we did in February right here on this green dot. So we were thinking to ourselves, all right, maybe we'll get a similar move and we'll get, resistance up here, which would be at that 86 or close to between 86 and that 92 range, or at least in this range, and then we got rejected. So, and now we're just trading sideways. So now it's kind of like a no man's land, anyone's game. We could go to 80,000 again from this point pretty easily, just because of the nature of how the market's sitting right now. We have the FOMC. The FOMC is coming up. That is going to give some market volatility. Every time we have Jerome speak, the market is very volatile, but this time it is an actual FOMC, and we are going to see whether Jerome Powell is going to be hawkish or dovish. So what does that mean? Hawkish means he's going to be very aggressive, and he's either going to, per the suggestion of the Federal Reserve and the colleagues and however they're doing their numbers, which are usually bonk numbers anyway, when they say inflation's at 2 point whatever percent, it's like, it's probably not that. It's probably worse. And they're either going to keep rates exactly the same, and then, or they're going to cut them. So they're not going to raise the rates, obviously. Like, they're not going to be raising rates. Like, they're being heavily encouraged and pressured to lower the interest rates. So we've seen on the chart how that can make the markets go more risk on, because then they're able to borrow cheap debt. So the only way that we're going to get full risk on, we have cheap debt. We have the dollar strength going down. People are not wanting to hold cash, which means that they're putting their cash into risk assets, which means the Dixie, the dollar, of the strength of the dollar is kind of is going down, whilst gold and silver are going up, because then the last time that we had the gold and silver pumping at the same time signaled that people were uncertain even on cash, even holding cash. They're just going full out of the market, going into gold and silver. But then we know what the play is now. So that all these things are going to line up where the Federal Reserve is going to they're going to ease, but slowly ease through the year. And then up until September, I think, is when we're going to see the biggest run, because then that's when we're going to see institutions flowing back into the ETFs, better sentiment with crypto purchases in general. I think we're just going to see more capital coming in, but we have to have the Federal Reserve cutting rates. And what's interesting is that every time we've had the rates cut, we've had volatility. Bitcoin's gone down, but then eventually then it goes up. It's kind of a lagging indicator, and then we'll get some movement in the markets. So yeah, the Federal Reserve will be meeting this week to discuss, among other things, a possible rate cut. So if Jerome Powell stands strong on his hawkish position, which would be not cutting rates, still keeping them the same, this will induce more outflow from the ETFs, because the Bitcoin ETFs, like we were talking about recently, if you're wondering why Bitcoin has been going down so much and why the whole entire market's going down, is because the outflows with the institutional money has been substantial, which is ultimately wreaking the havoc on the markets and controlling the price and manipulating the price. This is also combined with the nature of the market makers that are being controlled by Binance and Coinbase and possibly just the big exchanges. Okay, so Binance, they're able to move the market prices by smashing and liquidating longs and completely, basically, if you just want to call it what it is, insider trading, because how else are they going to know how to hunt these orders by moving these the Bitcoin and the Solana and all of these coins that they hold massive amounts of, and then they send it, they do a rinse and repeat, they flash, liquidate people. And so with the combination of that happening, also with the ETF outflows, no wonder the prices are just crap. No wonder ETH is still where it's at. I mean, ETH is still super cheap. So we have a theory on why ETH is still so cheap and why ETH has still not breaking its all-time highs. We have this ETF prophecy, this ETF thesis. It's pretty much, it's nothing crazy. It's not like we're the only one saying this, but we think that Ethereum is going to see the inflows like Bitcoin was seeing a couple months back. Months back, we were getting inflows like crazy. So what I think we're going to start seeing is ETH getting the institutional ETF inflow, which was what pumped Bitcoin to begin with. That's how Bitcoin was able to go up in general. It wasn't from spot buying. Like, I don't want you as a new crypto investor to think that because you're buying crypto, it goes up. And if we all just buy crypto, if we're all just buying Bitcoin, it's going up because of us. There's not enough of us to move the price of Bitcoin like you think. That's what's like, we don't have that kind of money. Like, we're buying $25, $50. We're DCAing. We're just DCAing. These institutions are flowing in $500 million. Like, in one day, for the Bitcoin ETFs, like months ago, it was like every day it was over $250 million. So $250 million in just one day, and then the next day, $500 million. That's how the prices are moved. And then from these big exchanges holding massive amounts as well. That's how it's moved. So that's why I've been preaching and screaming from the mountaintop that we need ETH commercials. Like, we need institution like attention and small businesses and just whoever, like, to start looking at Ethereum and being like, oh yeah, we should put, like, are we gonna now, is that the next play, the ETH ETF? Like, we're not working for our bags hard enough, I guess. But I've been making the joke that we need to start getting Vitalik to wear a suit. He needs to go and shake Trump's hand. We need to get that on live TV. And I think ETH would just pump to all-time highs the next day. It could be that easy. And then we make a commercial out of it. We blast that commercial out everywhere across the United States. Get people bullish on ETH again. But yeah, that's my ETH ETF prophecy. I believe that this is how we're actually going to see ETH move. It's real. I don't think it's going to be from like a bunch of retail investors fully decide, oh, now it's time to buy ETH. It's going to be from the big money, that big money sitting on the side, waiting for that next play. And I think it's ETH. And I know it's crazy to say it. It hurts to say it. Joaquin Phoenix had to hold ETH for 3 years to get ready for his role to play the Joker. It made him insane. Smash the like if you feel just like that. All right, so make sure you guys are following me at DANO Crypto 904. We're called the Crypto KOL, the 24th and a half century. Also known as the worst trader in existence. But we do know where the original Ethereum crystal is and where the original Ethereum is. If you want to talk to me about that, just book a private session, one-on-one call, and I'll tell you where the true ETH, where the true Ethereum is. All right, so this is interesting. So happy St. Paddy's Day. Actually, I think it's St. Patrick's Day. And we have Conor McGregor giving a message to the United States and to address the problem that Ireland has been having with the immigration. It's kind of similar to the United States. And so he's, presenting that, it's like when you walk around Ireland, you walk around, I guess, like, Dublin or wherever, major cities, it's just like, there's no Irish people. It's just funny. It's not funny, but it's just kind of the nature of the beast of what is happening. So he came to the White House to make an address. You can choose to watch that if you'd like. We're not going to play it. But, oh my gosh. Can I ever get a real Twitch viewer? It's always just someone trying to sell me some stuff. Block list. Yeah, the gas fees and the gas fees, all that. Yeah, I know. That was one of the biggest gripes. And now it's like they're trying to say, okay, well, you could pay your gas fee with your other cryptos, and then it's like, okay, well, then I'm not going to have any more crypto left if I have to pay my $100 gas fee with my Shiba Inu or my Pepe, and then all of a sudden I don't have any Pepe left because I've just been funneling it into gas fees. But gas fees or not, I think I remember the reason was we had the NFT craze. You know, the NFT craze, the gas fees were like $100. I remember. I was trying to buy an NFT and the gas fee was more than the NFT that I was buying. I was like, okay. All right, so let's get into kind of the topic of discussion here. There's so many reasons why we think that Bitcoin is still going to break like all-time highs this year, that we're going to go over probably 150,000. We're still going to be volatile and probably have pullbacks, but we're eventually going to end the year between $150,000 and $200,000 per Bitcoin. I believe so. And then with ETH is hard to tell. If we can at least I'll be happy to get to break all-time, just at least break all-time high. I mean, if we could at least get like a 6K ETH, I'd be happy, because we've seen what even a 4K ETH or even a $3,500 ETH can do to the altcoins and your meme coins and your high liquidity, solid projects on ETH. Doesn't have to be meme coin. I'm just saying, like, coins that have high liquidity and good trading volume that are on ETH, even at a $3,500 ETH, are pumping. I mean, so like that's like a 20% ETH, 50% ETH. We're going to get between 200 to 300 on the good projects that you're holding. That's how you have to think about it. So we don't need ETH to even move that much. We only need it to move just a little bit. Just a little bit. We just needed to move a little bit, guys. That's it. We've seen it. Floki went up 1,000% on a 15% ETH move. Like, are you serious right now? Or sorry, it was like 70% ETH, 1,000% Floki. So do you get what I'm saying here? 60% ETH turned into 1,000% move on Floki. Could have been that easy, but we get distracted. All right, so here's the all these things are going to correlate, I think, together with us getting that price action towards the end of the year. All right, so in the past, gold and silver have usually signaled market uncertainty, especially when people are wanting to not hold cash. They don't want to hold cash, and they want to put more into something that is a store of value. Gold has been a store of value for centuries. Since civilizations became civilizations, we've been trading and just I can't even think of the word. Just treasuring. Good word to say. Treasuring gold. Enough that when we made our own gold standard, we backed it, and we used to be able to take your dollar and actually get gold for it, or silver. So we know what it's for. We know what it stands for. But also it does signal market uncertainty of the dollar strength. And also, when it peaks, it signals that we're going to then go risk on. So this breakout has been signifying that people were just risk off, pretty much. And once we hit a certain point, that's going to be the correlation of the dollar strength going down, back down to this level. Gold's going to peak, might stabilize. Silver is going to be a lagging pump, but it will pump to 49 an ounce over the next 6 months to a year, maybe even getting to 60 per ounce in the end of the year. The dollar really starts to go down and loses strength. Bitcoin dominance is going to have to get back down in between 58 and 56%. Then that will signify when we're in an altcoin season, because then we have ETH dominance getting back up to here, levels that were in last year of March and April. So we're getting close into getting through March and then now getting into April. So we could have a potential bottoming of ETH dominance. Bitcoin dominance goes down. It peaked up here at 64%. And so we have this, ChatGPT here. Gold and silver breaking out, meaning their prices surge past key resistance levels, often signals significant shifts in the market sentiment and economic conditions. Historically, these precious metals are viewed as the safe haven asset, rising when investors seek protection from inflation. Okay, so that's what's been happening kind of over the past 4 years. So it could, if you've been buying gold over the past 4 years, and that means you are signaling as yourself as an investor and also in institutions that you are primarily more risk off, not holding cash and actually probably holding maybe 50, like maybe however much cash and then more gold and silver. And so currency deflation or uncertainty in traditional markets like the stocks. So when gold and silver stage powerful breakouts, it can indicate a broader rotation into hard assets, which now Bitcoin and certain cryptocurrency assets have now been considered in going into the category of a hard asset. So driven by factors like declining confidence in the fiat currencies, like we said, and the geopolitical tensions, which, we know we don't have to point out the geopolitical tensions. We have, and we're going to get into how those geopolitical tensions and the tariffs are driving the dollar dominance down and Bitcoin up all during this, because this is how countries like Russia and China and Canada and Mexico are going to avoid tariffs, is because they're going to use payment rails with Bitcoin and oil and gas trade through different modalities. And we're going to get into that. We have an article to show you. So the correlation between gold and silver and Bitcoin, it's not always direct, but patterns do emerge. So gold, with its deep liquidity and central bank backing, often leads during initial risk-off moves. So silver, more volatile and industrially tied, tends to follow with amplified momentum, like we were saying. So it's going to be lagging, but it'll catch up. So silver could be a really good trade right now, I think. Bitcoin, dubbed digital gold, shares traits like scarcity and the decentralization, but behaves differently due to its higher risk profile, which we've pointed out. The higher risk profile is the exchanges and also now the modalities of the ETF that is ultimately is what is moving the price. So when gold and silver break out, it can signal that liquidity is shifting towards assets outside the traditional financial system. Bitcoin often lags initially as investors first flock to proven havens like gold, but then catches up as risk appetite grows, which risk appetite grows when the Fed loosens interest and starts to have cheaper debt, and then it starts to shift. So, but then catches up as risk appetite grows and as profits from precious metals are redeployed. So then the profits from gold, the paper trading, because it's not like they're holding actual gold. So it's not going to feel as like, oh, I'm giving away my gold. It's paper gold. So for them, it's just like, I'm moving it to another form of that is just going to appreciate more over time. These people want more money. Also, when the risk appetite starts to go, because they know over the next 4 years, we're supposed to be in more of a booming market per what the charts have showed us over on the 4-year cycle and the elections, even when we were in a primarily ran administration, and we were sending billions of dollars out across all over the freaking world, the markets were still pumped. They had capitulations, we had black swan events, but if you look at it, they've historically just went up over those the 4-year cycles with the election cycle. So it seems like they're just playing these games of rinse and repeating, but ultimately it's leading to liquidity going into certain risk on assets and getting more risk growth and risk appetite for Bitcoin. So aggressive monetary easing, like lowering the interest rates, like we're talking about, quantitative easing, weakens fiat currencies, boosting gold and silver. This environment also favors Bitcoin, as with its fixed supply, which is just the 21 million coins. So this is what I think is happening. So I think it's going to happen over the next 6 months. The profit flow into Bitcoin isn't guaranteed. It's dependent on timing and sentiment, but precious metals breaking out can draw conservative capital first. But as those gains pile up, some investors are going to rotate into Bitcoin for its outsized return potential. Data from past cycles, like what we were talking about, 2017 and 2020, which are the recovery halving years. So 2017 was a bull run. 2016 was the halving year. 2020 was the halving year, but COVID. And then 2021 was when we had the all-time breaking highs for Bitcoin. So it shows Bitcoin often surges after gold stabilizes post its breakout. So suggesting a 3 to 6 month lag after gold's breaking out. So however, Bitcoin's volatility means it can overshoot and undershoot expectations if stock markets weaken alongside a precious metals rally, say due to recession fears, like what people are saying. There's fears and talks and woes of we're going into a recession. And so the Bitcoin might initially dip as risk assets sell off, only to rebound later as liquidity seeks alternatives. So I think we've already seen that happen. I think that situation, I think, is priced in already. So we've seen the capitulation. We've seen the lows. We've seen how, when we've seen this massive outflows, how low Bitcoin can go. And we've seen now where it can sustain. Can we sustain these prices? Now, the federal interest rates and the meeting this week is going to be a big deciding factor on the market sentiment shift. If the Feds cut the rates, we will see, I think, a market reaction that is positive, which will signal that the rest of the year they'll be cutting the rates, cheaper debt, and this is what I think could happen. I could be completely wrong. Obviously I've been wrong plenty of times. I've also been right, but this is why we're here. I mean, we're here to try and, figure out what's going on, pull all these things together, give you more of a macro perspective, because we do have to be macro traders as well. If we're too micro, we're going to overtrade. So we don't want to overtrade. We don't want to overcomplicate it. We don't want to F this up, as Raw Paul says. He's like, don't overcomplicate it. You have time. The market will make you feel impatient, so then you make the moves and make the stupid moves and then end up doing something and regretting it and not feeling like you even have enough crypto or even did anything or made profits at the end of the cycle. So it's less is more conviction in things that you understand, and that's how you're going to win the game. So we have to look at gold, we have to look at silver, we have to look at monetary policy and what they're doing, because those factors are going to correlate into crypto, because our industry is still so small, but the traditional financial system is dying off and going and transitioning and shifting into the digital age. And this is why we think Ethereum is going to be the next institutional pick, and why we are not going to we're not going to FUD Ethereum. We're just going to cheer it on and be like, you're gearing up, you're getting ready. You're going to get ready to get that flow from the institutions, and it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of time. It's so obvious now at this point that the old heads are going to pick the Microsoft of crypto. Solana is Apple. Ethereum is Microsoft. They're going to have the programmers, the development support, the know-how to deal with traditional financial institutions on every single level, probably more than any other chain. It's just a fact. All these into big heads are gonna go, what? Okay, what? There's all these memes on Solana and it's gone down 7 times. No thanks. We're gonna go with Ethereum just on fundamentals alone, and it's not that hard. I mean, like these dudes are pretty. They're gonna break it down by statistics, numbers, and metrics. And faster transaction speed doesn't matter if your chain has the possibility of getting mogged. Okay, so if Ethereum isn't going to get mogged, then the big bank using billions of dollars of throughput is probably going to build it on Ethereum. Just so you know, that is my best educated guess of why Ethereum will eventually get to 10K. We're just really impatient. We're really impatient, and we just have to go macro sometimes. What makes us go super micro is the volatility, the short-term trading, the price action, crypto Twitter. Crypto Twitter will make you go insane. It will make you jump all over the place. It's that analogy as classic as Alice in Wonderland, you know. But think of the rabbit. Think of the rabbit and the turtle and the hare. The turtle just is slow, but is steady, stays on track, is straighter, is just kind of, but like this. The rabbit's like, hops around, hops from one place to the other, maybe hops backwards, starts going the other way, and then eventually just goes like this. But then the turtle is just steady. Maybe it's a little slower. So let's try and have that mentality. Let's have that sentiment, and I think it will help us in the long run. Okay. So let's see. In short, gold and silver breaking out signal a flight to safety and distrust in traditional systems. So setting the stage for market shifts that can boost Bitcoin. Profits flow in when investors, emboldened by precious metal gains, cheaper debt, okay, chase Bitcoin's higher risk reward, which has proven 60-70% over year ROI, and risk reward profile, or when macroeconomic tailwinds align. So all those things that we were talking about. And then keep an eye on the dollar trends, monetary policy, and equity performance. Those will dictate how quickly and strongly these profits materialize. So, like I said, it's paper money. It's paper gold. It's paper trading, futures, gold futures. You'll see silver's futures probably pumping. If we were to look at silver's futures, it's probably looking strong and signaling exactly what I'm talking about. If you were to go back to my videos a couple months ago, everything that I said about gold and silver actually is played out. Like straight up is played out. Because if you look at the market uncertainties of 2008, any of the different financial crises that we've went through, the silver and gold have always signaled the breakout. Sometimes even beforehand, because insider traders, people that know what's about to happen, or they know what's coming down the pipe, they're connected into these sources and they're able to make the moves. Why do you think Nancy Pelosi is worth millions of dollars? Is because she has insider information of what companies are going to have smashing earnings, or which ones are going to bite the dust. So she plans accordingly. I don't think it's any different with all these other commodities. And if you're inside the game, you're probably going to play it. If you know the cheat code, when you played video games as a kid, when you had the opportunity to use some cheat codes, did you do it at least a couple times? Did you do it once, twice? I did. I mean, I beat games with no cheat codes, but where there were games that you could then put in some cheat codes and add something, or it gives you a different, you've most of the time you've used it. Yeah, Emmanuel, that is your winning. Yeah, that was his winning meme for getting some Bean coin. And it's funny, I actually onboarded Emmanuel to get a Phantom wallet. So boom, I've gotten 4 people already, 4 people to download the Phantom wallet for the first time. And that's crypto adoption right there. And I've sent them Bean coin, and then also they're going to get a bag of coffee as well. So, and I'm sending your bag of coffee out today, but you got to send me your address, you got to send me your info, and you'll be getting your coffee and some fun little treats in there as well. I won't send anything illegal, I promise. I won't get you in trouble. Just some coffee beans, some coffee beans, some stickers. I got some stickers. So, and guys, so what we were just talking about, if you're just coming in, we're just correlating the movements and liquidity going into gold, why gold's been breaking out, and why Peter Schiff is so bearish on Bitcoin is because I think he might know himself that eventually gold will stabilize, and then they're going to take the profits from from gold into Bitcoin, because then Bitcoin is just, it's ready for that next leg up. It's ready for the next leg up. You know, if we were to look at, if we go to our bookmarks, let's go to our bookmarks. We have this chart. It's a really nice chart. Kind of shows you the consolidations of what happens in these previous markets. You can see the bottom of November 2022. You can see small consolidation, and then it pumps out of a kind of a bull flag pattern. And then you can see it has a large consolidation, moves sideways, just like it's just terrible. It's just a nightmare trying to trade this, because you don't know if you're getting faked out back down to the downside, or if you're going to the upside or pumping. And then finally it finds a bottom point and then breaks out in a longer pull. And then a small consolidation happens. So small, large, small, large, small. Okay, I think right now we're in the small consolidation. We're in the small consolidation. I don't know. So let's see. Let's see if we call that a small consolidation. Yeah, because that was the big one. That was the one that was like, ugh. This one, gosh, now it's starting to get almost as long as this one. So it's pretty. So this one started here, and it lasted from the bottom whenever it finally broke out. I guess if that was the bottom here. So from the bottom, it was 187 days. 187 days. And then from here, 129 days. So I mean, gosh, we're almost getting close. So, but yeah, I think this is ultimately a smaller rotation here. And then or consolidation, and then we'll start to move, start to get up here to that 150, because that's going to be the next breakout point. We'll get those daily, weekly green candles, like weekly green, and we'll start to really move, get up to those points, start to complete that trend, get back up in these levels. And it's represented better on the Binance chart right here. You can see here, that was the previous moves that we had. And yeah. All right, so it's going to look at all right, so questions and answers. All right, so what do you think about atomicals? Atomicals. I don't really... Atomicals? I'm not familiar with this. It's siphon atomicals. I am not familiar. I don't know anything about that. All right, guys. I think that's it. That's all I wanted to really cover today. I wanted to just kind of show you guys, like, look, when Bitcoin falls, altcoins fall. But then when we get Bitcoin, going back up, then we'll start to see some magic. We had Michael Saylor finally buy some more Bitcoin. He kind of was, holding off a little bit. He's holding out on us, but now he's bought some more Bitcoin. Other factors to keep in mind is, the AI takeover. I think AI is going to be kind of destroying some jobs here. I think AI won't trigger a job apocalypse by 2029, but it will hit hard in pockets where tasks are route or data driven. The next 3 years will be proving ground. Those who learn to wield the AI will thrive, while others risk obsolescence. And so job losses will sting, maybe 2 to 4 million in the United States and 10 to 20 million worldwide. But new roles and productivity gains could soften the blow. The real test is whether societies prioritize reskilling fast enough. Without it, inequality could spike, and that's where I'd bet the bigger story lies. And that's what we've been thinking about is like, look, how are we going to service all of these people that are going to have to learn new skills? They're going to have to learn new things. They're going to have to basically pivot their entire career because they lost their job on AI. That is going to happen. There's going to be millions of people that are out of work. And I think that might actually usher in some type of, I don't want to call it a universal basic income, but I think people are going to probably end up getting stable coins deposited into their bank account just for like basic necessities. And you'd think, oh my gosh, that sounds like a nightmare. Number of the beast, all the things. But there's just going to be a big portion of the population that's just, they're not going to work. But I don't know. This is just going to be the next, between now and 2030, we're going to see some interesting stuff. We're going to see really interesting things happen and develop in the next 4 years. And I think this is why it's really important to, follow the money, follow liquidity, be into crypto, learn about crypto. It's where the whole world is going to be. It's where the whole focus is going to be. So you're lucky that you're here right now. Be bullish on it. And know that you are in the right place. You are in the right place. You're not crazy. You are in the right place. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to go. Got things to do. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified, hit the like button, share the stream with a friend of yours or a person who needs to learn about crypto and just get some macro data presented to them, and also some technical analysis and just a overall tick on the markets. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Make sure you just do all that housekeeping, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. And make sure you check out Beancoin. Go to beancoin.co, and we have a merch section. We have obviously where you can buy the coffee. You click here. You can purchase this coffee with crypto, which is the whole point. And then that will actually let me see your address, and then we can airdrop you some Beancoin. So be a part of the movement, and we will see you guys on the next live stream. Now a word from our sponsors.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.